Hello, Kalians. We have so much to do today, but I'm stuck in this darn box. Hold on, let me see if I can get out. 1, 2, oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, so I had this beautiful inspiration to make this Barbie beach dress that we saw in Margot Robbie's movie, so let's get into it. So the first thing that we got was this butterick pattern that's from the 60s, and it's actually meant to make a play suit. However, I knew that I could use this to kind of modify and get the pieces that we needed. So we are going to be using some pieces from this, and then we're going to actually save the other pieces for her signature like 60s buffalo plaid dress that she wears as well. If you are someone who sews, then you know it takes about 30 minutes to an hour to cut these patterns out. It sucks, but the neater you are, the better your garments come out in the end. So it's important to keep your lines straight and just really take your time. Grab a snack, turn on your favorite show or one of my videos, and we can do it together and go through the torture together. It's a good idea to have your iron kind of plugged in and warming up while we're doing this, because we'll need it later. So, just a little helpful tip. Grab our pink buffalo plaid, and we're gonna take all of our pattern pieces, figure out which ones we need for this project, and cut out the ones in our size. So I use tracing paper to cut out my size so that I can keep the main pattern pieces for any size. So now we cut out our shorts back and front. We're gonna actually sew those darts first. So when I got home from work, I sewed the side panels together. As you can see, they're pinned here, nice and pretty. And we're gonna just sew them on both sides and iron your seam. Don't ever forget to top stitch so that it doesn't fall apart. And then I went ahead and darted that flappy thing. Again, I really don't know what it's called. For the buttons, I tried on the shorts because I needed to figure out where I wanted the hemline to be on the top and the bottom. And I used a pin to mark it in place. From here, we're going to take the top and start doing the darts on those and the pleats on the bottom. And it looks like this when all of those are sewn in. This is the casing to add some strength to your top, especially because your boobies will be in there. And then so we sewed that in place, and then now we have to do the heart and kind of add the bottom. But honestly, I didn't film any of that because I was terrified that I was going to mess it up. I regret not filming it now that it worked out. But anyway, here we are actually adding the white lining to the bottom because ultimately I did not add enough seam allowance or hem allowance at the bottom of my apron skirt to do the scalloped hem. So I had to add a white piece, and it actually worked out. It completely worked out so that I could use this and fold it over and do my scalloped hem that way. So right now we're just sewing this onto the bottom of our buffalo skirt apron, and it's about 2 inches long. And then we're gonna fold it over and sew it to the top. And then we're gonna use a half circle of any size from around our house and trace those little half circles on the bottom of the skirt. Sew along those lines very, very, very carefully. And then we're gonna cut out around our seam. See, this is usually why I try and show you, because I know that sounds crazy, but just hang in there and we'll see. You'll see what I'm saying. So here is that sewn on. Like I said, now we're gonna fully flip it over. As you can see my little fingers doing there. And then we're gonna sew it again on the top side so that it doesn't move. This is what I meant. So the apron skirt was not long enough for me to do the scalloped hem without adding that white part, so I had to. But it was very cute. Very, very cute. We're doing good. We're doing good. Here's just some more clips. And then now we're going to actually start to show you all of the pieces that we have worked on so far. So that I made a second top for the dress and the skirt piece later, but that's going to be in another video. So this is what the scallops look like when they're all done. Like I said, it ended up pretty well. The shorts look absolutely adorable. I was really, really happy with how those came out. Now, I'm very grateful that about 6 months ago I started making bucket hats because I needed to whip one up out of nowhere, and I actually only spent about an hour on this. It took me very little time, and I just whipped her right up. And this was one of the last steps because I also had to make the bow and attach that, but otherwise we were doing pretty good. I was seeing the finish line, and I was wanting to get there as fast as possible. I'm straight rambling. I'm so sorry. Random clip of me just kind of jamming to some music, because who doesn't? All right, this is me trying the hat on. Like I said, I literally spent less than an hour on this, maybe an hour. And it turned out pretty good. Now we're going to start working on the bow. So I basically just took a 2-inch strip of fabric and like 2-inch width, the length. I honestly didn't even measure it. And then we folded that in half, sewed it together, and now we're turning it inside out. And that is going to be what we use for basically our ribbon to make the bow. From there, I just kind of folded it in 2 loops. Now, I actually played with the folding a little bit once it was on there, and I actually hand sewed that bow in place just so that it wouldn't move on me or have any difficulties in the machine, because if you know, you know. Sometimes they cause hell. Anyway, so here's me trying on the dress with it basically fully done. At this point, I hadn't finished the hat just because, again, I'm putting all these clips together at the end. So I hadn't tried that on with it, but I was pretty happy with how this turned out. Like I said, I had to lengthen the straps on the back a lot. I could have had an elastic right there where I was touching if I wanted to cinch it a little bit more, but I honestly didn't really mind. So I was pretty happy with it. Now we add the hat for the final look, and again, I don't think I've ever been more proud of myself for how a project came out, especially because I won most of this, especially the back. I'm so sorry that I didn't film that. I really wish I did now. Here's a little TikTok I made, because that's fun. Barbie! I honestly cannot tell you how many selfies and pictures and videos I took in this outfit just because it made me feel like such a beautiful girl. I just love it. If you made it this far, I love
love you.